consonants. The sixth is about the humanity. The last one is about the beauty. So I try to promote the ideas, let the peoples, two countries, to work together to support these ideas. If we can achieve the unity, if we can achieve the harmony, if we can have the national peace, if we could strike on concordance and our consonance, and to realize the humanity and the beauty. So I think that really a lot of things. I'm very happy that I had the opportunity to share the ideas with you. Thank you.
Oh, well, great lady. That's really interesting, Ambassador Chui. It's a whole lot of a big idea you have. And I think I must say congratulations, if not double, for that, having come up with that idea, and of course your independence anniversary. Dr. Sheriff Gali, you started this discussion on the 5Gs. And of course, you said specifically the coming of Ambassador Chui is more of a great blessing really to Nigeria and China, both countries, given the fact that he came up with these ideas. Now, you've heard him speak about the 5Gs, his own brainchild. And then do you see the possibility of Nigerians and the Nigerian government keying in first and very firstly into these ideas, although he said it's not going to be, an easy thing to do, given the fact that moving singularly can take you really far, but when you go together, you get, far enough and then to your destination. Tell us more. What would you say about Sino-Nigeria relations in relation to the 5Gs?
Thank you so much. You see, when you critically look at the 5 major goals identified by His Excellency, you understand that the political consonance can be achieved easily, but with a precondition. And what is that precondition? Is taking the idea of Xi Jinping himself when he says that never fail the people. And look at the people as your masters. We look at the people as our masters, and we are their servants. So when you don't fail the people, people will actually develop that particular national identity, because the political consonance is hinged on national identity, if I may paraphrase. The national identity is the citizenry should be able to identify themselves with the nation. You are proudly Nigerian. If you go to China, for example, you see whenever there is a big event, economic, political, social, cultural, you see the citizens saying, Jungo Jayo, meaning China, go on, carry on, you understand? You see people holding the national flags, either the medium size, big or small size. People are happy. They appreciate what the government does. They appreciate about the political utility, what the government gives them, provides, for them. So the national identity, you come back to Nigeria, you see Nigerians go abroad, they call themselves differently. They call other Nigerians Nigerians, as they do not identify themselves with the particular country. So the impact of this, or this is as a result of what? Failing the people. Because if you fail the people, people will not actually develop that particular sense of identity in them. This is one. Then secondly, what His Excellency called the ethnic unity. Ethnic unity is what Nigeria has been able to achieve, since independence, or like 100 years ago since the amalgamation. Because despite the woes of the civil war, Nigeria has remained one entity, one people. There has not been a practical cessation, that succeeded. And people, despite or against all odds, Nigerians live together, in their divergent, differences. So this is another issue. Then the third issue, apart from looking at the national unity, ethnic unity, as well as we have harmony, harmonious living. Because when you have people live in unity, and apart from this particular unity, they are now able to develop that particular sense of identity. Then what comes is social harmony among these particular people. People will be happy, even though we belong to a multicultural and multivociferous entity, but people will actually have that particular sense of belonging and emotional ties as a result of what? As a result of not failing them. Because if you fail the people, people will actually find a way of showing their resentment as well as showing their grievances. And for you to be able to achieve what President Xi Jinping had actually theoretically, accentuated, looking at the four comprehensives, for example, of achieving rule of law and party discipline. Because for a society, for you to be able to achieve such national unity, achieve national identity, dealing with the five goals and political consonants, you must be able to deal with rule of law. You have to deepen rule of law. Rule of law in the sense that there has to be constitutionalism. There has to be what? You actually develop punitive measures against those who aberrate the Constitution. And this also translates into what President Xi Jinping identified as the two upholds. Why? Because you have to stick to the constitution of the land as identified by the lawmakers, the Central Committee of the Communist Party, and this should also be applied in Nigeria. Regardless of who you are, being a member of a political party, you have to make sure that you act, you think, you execute according to the decisions of that particular party. You represent the party which represent the people. So you don't actually make decisions contrary to the provisions of that particular political party. Why? Because you are nothing but a member of that particular political party. Then to achieve prosperity, in order to achieve prosperity, you have to deepen reforms. These particular reforms are also, hinge or enshrine in this particular 5Gs mentioned by His Excellency. Because if you look at, for example, modernization of agriculture, which also falls under the economic cooperation, you modernize agriculture, for example. You also develop technology. Apart from this, the identification of the national treasure, which presumably dealing with both human and natural resources. How do we harness these particular resources in order to achieve our goals? Because having a monocultural economy is not actually self-sufficient. Because if you look at the statistics, as of 2020, Nigeria imported oil. It spent more money in the importation of oil than the export of oil. So how do you actually reconcile this without looking at other areas? He made mention of mining, the non-oil sector. So I think for us to achieve this particular 5Gs, especially the political consonance, the economic cooperation, the military collaboration, as well as the international coordination, the foundation, the sine qua non is actually never fail the people. If you don't fail the people, you make sure that our Mr. President made the pledge to uplift about 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. Is the irony, because according to statistics, in next year, 2020, if adequate and necessary measures are not taken, there will be about 109 million Nigerians who will continue to actually be subjected into abject poverty. So I think there is the need to actually share this particular thought. And this thought must not only be upheld only by the central government in Nigeria, even the provincial government, have to actually go by these particular principles and ideas, including non-governmental organizations, because in contemporary international system, we don't see only government taking the responsibility and obligations of actually making a greater contribution to the society as well as the international community. Non-governmental organizations, play a significant role within the national economy. That is why if you go to Europe, for example, and America, you discover that the most sophisticated industries, and companies that exist are not actually owned by the government, but rather by private organizations. So under regional integration, coming together of Africa or at sub-regional level, for example, either from ECOWAS, SADC, IGAD, that is Intergovernmental Authority on Development, or even Central Africa Economic Cooperation, you discover that it's not just the intergovernmentalism that actually works. You are looking at non-governmental organizations that will actually contribute in especially the technical areas of integration. Okay. So to achieve this, definitely we have to look at the people as our masters, and we should never fail the people. Otherwise, that particular ethnic unity and political consonance will actually be missing.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sharif, for your elaboration on the issues. Charles, I asked the ambassador whether he was already having conversations around the issues of poverty eradication and dealing with aspects of conflict management and resolution, specifically farmers and herders, and what feedback he was getting. Well, he tried to explain, but there's also a key point that I would like you to speak to. Namely, there's often the weariness of transplantation of ideas from one political culture or political environment into another. In other words, be more concerned about your context and how it fits into that context, which was why I asked the question about whether it's having conversations. You rightly said that, look, we're not going to have a one-party system in Nigeria, but you've been talking about how the mechanics for China in realizing its objective of pulling out hundreds of millions out of extreme poverty, various meetings held by the president at the national level, at the regional level, at the cell level, XYZ, and the fact that there is harmony in all of that. But back home, you can see sometimes our antagonistic partisan politics can get in the way, which was why I asked the question about conversation. Whom are you speaking with at the moment, and what feedback are you getting? Is one party say, this is not our program? Another party say, no, this is a federal government idea. This is my territory, this is federalism, XYZ. How can we, because we're a federal structure and China isn't, so how can we leverage on the advantages of China and have a good fit into our federal system, bearing in mind that the ultimate goal is, one, eliminate poverty, make the environment safe and secure for the prosperity of all?
Yes, thank you. First, I would like to make the point that consultations has been at the very heart of China's political system since 1949. Actually, it was the Communist Party that proposed coalition of all social and political forces. And by the way, you have over 8 political parties in China. They are not party in competition. They are party in consultation and cooperation. So you can develop a mechanism for engagement, for building national consensus. And that is what happens in China. You have mechanism for engagement, for consultation, and then developing a framework of national consensus. So it is not a one-party state. It's a multi-party consultative democracy, consultative socialist democracy, where there is consultation across the board. And this is one key element. Despite the various parties, party is about the people. It's not about power. So you can build a mechanism for engagement, for consultation. It is not antithetical to competitive democratic process. You can have a mechanism for engagement across party board to generate consensus on key national issues and build key consensus on policy questions regarding things like eradicating poverty, regarding things like growing national power, focusing on key aggregates that engages your process to grow. So I think that is one element where we can also, because I believe that, yes, consultation is the key. No one political system can be translated to other. You must have your own context. But I believe that if we are to make significant progress and build policy initiative consistency, durability, and momentum that is necessary to achieve any meaningful result, you must have a platform for generating consensus. And I think that's what our political parties
must address. Political parties must have a mechanism for building consensus. That is very important. They don't have to be the same. In China, they're not the same. You have different political parties, but the Communist Party of China historically is in the driving seat, but do not act with impunity, do not act on its own. It consults widely. That is the harmony you see in China political process. It's not because it bludgeons others, but because it consults others. That has been the tradition from the very first it's founded. It realized it does not have the monopoly of knowledge, that to drive the process of building a modern China, you must engage others. So that is why the acrimony we see elsewhere is not seen in China. It is not because there are no differences. There are differences, but adequate. In fact, the first political institution that was founded, the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, was a platform of all party people, ethnic nationality, professionals, overseas Chinese, and religious groups, ethnic minorities. They all have a platform to ventilate, engage, and build a consensus on key policy issues. That is the magic. It's not a rocket science. It's achievable here if only there is a political will to drive a consensus based on understanding of our national goal, that we must modernize. Our people must be out of poverty. We must build a modern state, inclusive, broadly participatory. So it's absolutely within the realm of our ability. It just has to take some sacrifices. So that being said, I know that Nigeria and China cooperation has been built also on consultation. In 2005, China engaged Nigeria as a strategic partner, along with South Africa and Egypt. These are the only countries that enjoy the status of strategic partner. Strategic partner means broad consultation prior to key international issues. So the relationship between the two countries has actually been driven by mutual consultation. If you remember, after 2015 FOCAC meeting in Johannesburg, President Buhari was the first African leader to be received in Beijing in 2016. And the platform of consultation. Now, Ambassador has talked about the institutionalization of the binational commission. This is a dialogue process, a continual dialogue process, where we break issues down and take them one-on-one on practical terms. Let us engage this process of dialogue. His Excellency has generated some practical issues on which we can drive this cooperation. He's talked about keying in major issues of our national concern, security. He talks about how do we, because at the end of the day, the challenge of herdsmen and farmers is shrinking resources. The only way you can resolve that question is expanding the resources available. If the herders have more access, how they could feed their cattle without interrupting the work of the farmers, you could have harmony and growth and development. So I think the GIST process also has been consultative driven. I think since His Excellency arrived, on almost every platform he has been, he has shared this, expanding China diplomacy, not only state to state, but among other non-state actors, non-state key stakeholders. So I believe that the process of dialogue, the process of consultation is implicit in the 5 GIST. And I believe that relevant Nigerian authorities, relevant Nigerian institutions have been briefed, hinted about the process. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it is something that we must mutually engage. Okay. No matter the goodwill of the Chinese, except the two sides mutually engage in the process, leveraging this key decision, leveraging this practical roadmap to taking the relationship to a new height. I believe that is the way to go.
It takes two to tango, really. You can interrupt, but if you can just give us a little break. Now we'll go on a break. When we come back, then you can now respond to some of the issues you talked about. Okay. You're watching Good Morning Nigeria. We'll now take your break. We'll be back in a moment.
Ministry of Works and Housing has the responsibility to help improve the quality and the quantity of the road infrastructure assets, which are the roads and the bridges and the highways. At the moment, we have over 13,000 kilometers of road network under repair, reconstruction, or rehabilitation out of the existing 35,000 kilometers of federal road network. These 13,000 kilometers are comprising about 850 different contracts which the ministry superintends across Nigeria. We are fulfilling the mandate of our ministry to expand the connectivity of Nigeria's states and by extension the towns and villages through road transport.
Give your kids winning energy. Milo Active Go. With the goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa, helps them make the most of every day. Milo, the energy to go further.
I dey enjoy Nollywood film, Orisun, PBO, AMC be my best channel. But ST Nollywood Plus dey show the latest Nollywood blockbuster on top classic bouquet. How I wan take watch am?
My pikin dey enjoy 5 children's channels, but e wan come add DreamWorks on top am.
I be telenovela lover and I like ST Novella E and Starlight. But I hear say the series on ST Novella E Plus on top classic bouquet dey totori person pass wetin I dey see now. And I wan watch am. Shey I go need pay 800 naira extra?
From September 1, Star Times dey sama you better package. But no fear, we no increase price join this offer. Make basic bouquet subscribers just pay for 1 month and then go fit to watch 3 ogbonge extra channels from classic bouquet. This awoof never finish oh. Recharge classic or super bouquet for 1 month and you fit be one of the 400 lucky people them. We go win smartphone. Terms and conditions dey show. More value, same price. Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Before we went on break, Ambassador Chu, Charles alluded to so many issues here, and these maybe need some interrogation from you. We want some greater clarification on that. Given the fact that Nigeria is a federation, we have political parties, we have so many of them, I would say, and then we have different divergent views and ideas, and so many tribes, religions, creeds, and the rest of them. When we talk about national policy issues all these issues come up, and they sort of throughout the whole process, and at the end of the day, we find the party in power taking the lead and doing what it feels like doing, not exactly what should be in the interest of every other person, including political parties. This is not the case in China. Now, shed more light to us on this. How is the CPP able to really accommodate, tolerate, and then, be in the driving seat at the same time and then move national policy forward and achieving these things? I'm just very puzzled and amazed by this issue of getting 100 million people out of extreme poverty between 2012 and 2020. And here we are still, but, struggling with that.
First, I would like to invite you to have the opportunity to go to China to really understand what's the Chinese CPC. And really, I want to share because time is limited, I have to hit the right point. The first CPC now, this year is very special for the 100 years anniversary. We're celebrating this anniversary. Nigeria, APC, PDP, the major parties has joined the July 6th, the party summit. This is 1 point. That means 100 years anniversary for the CPC. since the founding of 1921. The second point I want to highlight, the party politics really is a mainstream of state governance all over the world. I found less than 20 countries in the UN member, 193 countries. Now most countries are doing the party politics. Third point, China, we have experienced every political system. If you studied history, from the ending of Qing dynasty in 1912. So nearly 100 years, we experience a lot, the political system. For example, the Western democracy, democratic system, and also East and also Middle East, we experience a lot. So now, the key point here is that, just Mr. Charles mentioned, Chinese political system really is unique. Without this system, we cannot achieve the outcome of today. So what I want to share with you, the very quick, important sentence, most people believe, oh, China, one party, so you succeed. One party system. China, we call CPC-led multi-party cooperation, not competition. There is a competition, but the cooperation is the first. That means CPC-led multi-party state or multi-party cooperation. So this is the reason why a lot of politicians in some countries, oh, China is only one-party system. This is not good. The second point here is about one-party CPC-led multi-party cooperation and political consultative system. That means we have the consultative system in place. You know, we have 8 parties. In comparison with CPC, the other 8 parties, their major job is join. We have the organization. I think really Nigeria, you have more parties. China in the 1920s, 1930s, also we have a lot of parties, like Nigeria situation. So the multi-parties, how can let them to have a say, to have the power to express their thought. So we have this very special organization we call China Political Consultative Conference. These parties in this organization can take part in decision process of the nation's policy. For example, this year we are starting the 14 years 5-year plan. And also they could monitor the implementation of the policy. They could give advice to the CPC. So there is no conflict. There is a competition, but they are cooperation. So this system really does work. The key is that when I was in Abuja University, the student asked me, Ambassador, did you talk to the leaders of a Nigeria party? I share my ideas. What's the secret of CPC? I think that we cannot bring the Chinese model to Nigeria, but I think the thought, the things that we can benefit. The key is that I use the 6L. Maybe this is very easy for you to understand. Why is CPC succeed? The first, CPC loves the people. Some politicians said, oh, Chinese Communist Party is illegitimate party. It's not elected by the people. I told the students in Abuja University, because of the people, it's the people supporting, working with CPC, acquire power, get power. If you study history, the Civil War, the anti-Japanese war, we can learn the Reform War. So if you look at the history of the Communist Party, because the people, without people, they cannot get power. They are not doing the ballot power. Okay, the second L is about the liberate the people from the poverty. The third L is about learn from the people. The fourth is lead the people. The fifth is about listen to the voice of the people. The last L is leave the people. So I believe that really, whatever parties, really, if you try to build a relationship with the people, the 6L is okay. Chinese CPC has achieved that goal. I thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Ambassador. I would like you to also speak to this. All the points that you have made, the proposals you have, they are all fine. But there are analysts who worry about the presence of China in Africa. The influence of China is growing, and there is the fear.
I hope there's a positive influence, not a negative influence.
Where there is the fear, according to the analysts, that China may very well become the next imperial power in Africa, and that the sovereignty of African countries is being mortgaged through the various loans that African countries are taking from China, and so on and so forth. What is your reaction to this?
You just mentioned first, my quick response about the loan, the money. The difficulty, the biggest thing is how can the African countries to get money to support the development of the country. This is one thing. It's difficult. It's difficult for the weak, poor countries to get. This is the biggest financial constraint for the African continent. Not like other people say, oh, okay, China try to make a debt trap for every country. This is nonsense. It's illogical. And second point I want to make, China in Africa, you just mentioned UN seat. 26 countries support China to restore the UN seat. So that means the bedrock for China and Nigeria, this is natural bond. This is the reason why Chinese president attach great importance to build a relation between the African country and China. And I believe that every nation now is trying to do things internationally and to try to expand influence. But I assure you, the Chinese involvement, commitment to Africa is a positive influence, not interference in your domestic affairs, not try to do bad things for the people. So this is the reason I'm...
Any chance to meet any Chinese top official, especially ambassador like you, is a chance to really find out the situation of the currency swap agreement in 2018 between Nigeria and China. Has the objective, Excellency, of this initiative been met so far?
This is a really great initiative between China and Nigeria. We have, China has signed this document with 40 countries internationally, 3 from Africa. Nigeria is one of the 40 countries, one of 3 countries in Africa whole continent. I commend this initiative. This have a far-reaching effect for the 2 countries. What I want to highlight first is about investment. Nigeria, Chinese businessmen can use for example, Chinese people can use Naira. You can use Chinese RMB to invest in both countries. Second, it's good for the import-export. You can use 2 currencies to try to increase the volume of import-export. The third is very important, that you can use the RMB being the foreign reserve. This is really good for the nation. So I believe that this is a very, very good thing for the country. Most importantly, I want to highlight that I'm working hard to try to let the Chinese commercial bank to be established in Nigeria and let Nigeria bank to go to China. This is reciprocal cooperation. I do believe that could give a big boost to the economic sectors.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Sharif, very quickly, same question to Ambassador. Should Africa and therefore Nigeria be wary of what has been labeled the impending Chinese imperialism on the continent?
No, not at all. Nigeria shouldn't actually be wary of its relationship with China. Why? Because even if it should be called imperialism, it is a good imperialism because it benefits the people. Imagine the Kaduna, Abuja, standard gauge railway during the heydays of kidnapping, along Abuja-Kaduna Road. If not because of the, the railway, provided by China, Tell me, you know, what will have actually been of Nigerians who must actually be passing through that particular route. And I was one day traveling, I saw honorable members, you know, from Nigeria's National Assembly in corners, you know, hiding as well as following that particular route. So even if you call it imperialism, it is a good imperialism. Why? Because the issue of debt, Nigerians made themselves indebted. Why? Because you borrow money, you don't actually put the money in capital project, you steal the money. And how do you actually blame, you know, your lenders? If you borrow money, you channel the money into productive areas, you know, of your own development. So the loans given to you is not even cash. You know, China built, you know, infrastructure, the railways, you know, airports, you know, and the rest of them. And you have actually 20 years to pay back, with even 7 years moratorium. So what are we saying here? I think Africa and Nigeria have actually rediscovered themselves, you know, coming out from the hitherto colonial relationship from the Western world. And Africa and Nigeria have discovered a partner, a brother, you know, and a sister, which is China. And China, if we make the argument of the win-win benefit and situation, it actually comes to us. The only thing is that if you actually have China and you have Nigeria, China being a producer or a manufacturer, definitely you actually buy from China.
Okay,
Then if you don't have something to sell, definitely there is going to be imbalance. And China encourages Nigeria and African countries to produce the more so that they come to Beijing, you know, for economic export, you know, as well as sell their items. So
All
this
right,
is the tech.
Dr. Sharif, thanks a lot. Sorry, we're getting pressed for time. Ambassador, I would like you to speak to this in 30 seconds. There are frequent reports of Chinese nationals operating informally in key sectors of the Nigerian economy, mining, for example. And this is worrisome to Nigerians and indeed, I believe, the Nigerian government. What are you doing with respect to this? Because such transactions are often undocumented as part of the trade, formal trade between Nigeria and China.
Okay, you mean that some Chinese nationals are doing not good things in the mining sector?
That's correct.
Okay.
And some of them, of course, have been
Quick
found receiving
response.
stolen
Okay.
railway slippers.
Quick response. I support the healthy, good cooperation between the Chinese company and Nigerian company in the mining sectors. This is one point. I support it. Second, I oppose some misconduct. Everybody should follow the rule of law in Nigeria. The third point I want to make here, if some Chinese nationals commit bad things, crime, they should get their punishment. This is my attitude. We cannot tolerate Chinese nationals to do not good things in Nigeria. I assure you that I will work hard. If there is, I haven't got specific cases, let me know. If some Chinese company, Chinese national do not good things, let us know. We work together to solve this problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ambassador Chui Jianchun, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Nigeria. We appreciate Your Excellency for being our guest on Good Morning Nigeria today.
I thank you.
All right, we also would like to thank Charles Odunaiju, who is Director of the Center for China Studies here in Nigeria. Charles, delight having you on Good Morning Nigeria. Dr. Sharif Gali Ibrahim of the Department of Political Science and International Relations at the University of Abuja. Also a pleasure having you with us on the program this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, very quickly, let's take our sports segment and then we sign off for the day.
Nigeria forward Taiwo Awoniyi scored twice as Union Berlin raced back from a goal down to beat Mainz 05 in their Bundesliga clash at the Mewa Arena Sunday night. Marcuson Gaston put Mainz ahead 6 minutes before the break, and Awoniyi equalized for the visitors in the 69th minute. Union Berlin's 100th Bundesliga goal.
Does what he does best. 100 Bundesliga goals, Union Berlin have scored.
The Nigeria international netted the winning goal in the 73rd minute.
He's in again! And he scores again!
The 24-year-old has now scored 5 goals in 7 league appearances for Union Berlin this season And in the English Premier League, Super Eagles striker Kelechi Iheanacho marked his first league start of the season with a goal. But Leicester City surrendered a 2-0 lead to draw 2-2 at Crystal Palace also on Sunday.
For Leicester City, 1-on-1 with Guaita. Iheanacho makes it 1-0. An absolute gift.
Iheanacho gave Leicester the lead on 31 minutes, and in the 37th minute, the Foxes doubled their lead through Jamie Vardy's goal. England-born Nigerian midfielder Michael Olise also got on the score sheet as he opened his goals account for Palace in his third league appearance.
Palace have a goal back, and it's the substitute Michael Olise.
Palace then levelled up in the 72nd minute. In the other EPL Sunday's results, Tottenham ended their winless run with a 2-1 home win over Aston Villa, while Manchester City came from behind twice to end a 2-2 draw with Liverpool.
That's it for us on Good Morning Nigeria today. Thanks for being with us. The program returns tomorrow, same time, 7 in the morning. Look after yourselves. I'm Kingsley Osadolo.
And I'm Yusuf Madabu Usman. Have a great day and, of course, a great week ahead.
Beyond the quenching efforts of men. The weak, the strong, the rich, the poor, even the unborn will have no hiding place. Tribes and tongues and religions will no longer make any meaning at all. Knowledge will fail you. The economy will be grounded. Your political connections will be useless. And life in general will be stranded if not ended.
Manipulators, troublemakers, and table shakers will not be exempted.
That is why we must make peace the only option in Nigeria. Join us in one love to preach peace in all the 36 states in Nigeria, including AFCT.
For peaceful engagements through town hall meetings, rallies, and unity concerts.
Remember, the two strongest warriors are patience and time.
Make peace the only option now.
This message is brought to you by the Ambassador of Voice for Change Initiative, supported by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and the Federal Capital Territory.
We want to talk about rights, there are obligations. I'm not saying that this government is a saint, it's very far from it. But there are things that we can do to make it better, and that's the challenge I'm throwing to you. You don't want to build this nation? I don't know where else you want to go. If I had a choice, I'll come back. When I stand outside and I hear what you have to say about this country that I know that I can die for as one, then I'm really sad because you're young. You have education. You have tools. You have a huge future ahead of you. And you're condemning yourself before you started on that journey. So please don't do that. Please don't.
This is the network service of the NTA.
and welcome to Thoughts for the Week. I'm Cordelia Obe, and the idea is to talk about things we usually would talk about. This time using proverbs, wise sayings, fables, you call them any name from around the world. And what are we looking at today? We are looking at being faithful to our friends. Welcome. Now, I have a story to share. It's a fable because I have some animals in it. Many, many years ago, there was a shark who had a monkey as a best friend. Every time the shark would swim to the island where this monkey was, and they'll be happy together. One day the shark said, my friend. As some people would say, my friendship. You don't even know where I live. Won't you come and visit me one day? And the monkey said, okay, why not if not? So it hopped onto the back of the shark, and the shark swam fast and straight towards the middle of the sea. When he got to his own home, all his friends, relatives, and all that were very happy. And the monkey said, why are your family people this happy? Shark said, our king is very sick, and they say we need the heart of the monkey to take care of him. And the monkey was almost fainting. Boy, he was very bold, so he said, my friend, why didn't you tell me what you wanted to do? You didn't trust me enough to tell me. Don't you know that we monkeys, we usually keep our hearts somewhere else? You see that tree you used to meet me? That is where I kept my heart now. And the shark said, He said, just take me back home. Let me collect my heart. I will come back. And the shark, okay. So to the amazement of everybody, the shark turned back and took the monkey back home. Now, our elders say, if God had not been the friend of the faithful ones and made them wise, even in the valley of death, life would have been extinct in the world. So, our monkey got home, got up to the tree, and told the shark that, you are a bad friend. Who told you? My heart is here with me. But thank God I escaped from you. And that was how the monkey got saved. My father told me that story many, many years ago, and I never forgot it, because he said that every parent should teach the child or their children how to be faithful to their friends. When you are faithful to your friends, somehow, when they try to plot evil or anything bad against you, somehow you have a means of escaping. It may not be the case all the time, but posterity would hold it dear in its heart, knowing that you have been faithful to your friends. That story is a story we should share every time, because every day it seems as if things are getting worse. People don't trust each other anymore. Whose fault? Now, for our thoughts for the week. Are you a good friend? Or are you a friend who is deliberately leading other friends into evil traps just because you want to make your own ends meet? Are you teaching your children to be faithful to their friends, but at the same time to be very, very wise? Think on these things till we meet again next time. Take care of yourselves, my friend. My name is Cordelia Obe. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Runway. Style. Fame.
She likes fashion. She likes fashion. She likes fashion.
This year, the annual Africa Fashion for Peace show fundraised towards peace-building initiatives within Nigeria and across Africa.
My drive so far is the heart to continue what I'm born for and a purpose and mission to complete. So you don't complete your mission until you leave this world. That's mission accomplished. So what in essence is that I have been a victim. I know what it takes when a country is not in peace. And right now, as I speak to you, a lot of things are going on in the world. All we need is to preach more peace. All we need is to be the peace we want to see.
Philanthropists and fashion enthusiasts were treated to a stunning fashion show with a charitable mission. Diverse cultures, creative interpretations, and individual style were all celebrated on the runway as models strutted in looks from Hopez Designs, Atinuke Stone, Kaftan Design, Adore, and Brains and Machine Fashion Lab.
Every of our designs was inspired by nature. That was why it's called Aura of Nature. Yeah, the whites we used on one of our colors in the design is white. White signifies peace. Then black is African. Then the yellow, if you're happy, you go with yellow. And also yellow color signifies nature as well. So
it's all about local designs, how to really be creative locally, use local materials to have local fittings that will appeal to occasions, corporates, and what have you.
We are here tonight to showcase our work, our stone design, that you can do on t-shirt, on dresses, on kaftan, and then to make the stone design, to create awareness for stone design in Nigeria, because most times people travel out to get their stone work done. But here we can provide the templates for your company. We can do the stone work, and we can get you a t-shirt or on your face cap, at least your logo company, and on normal outing dresses.
So Adore is feminine. I mean, I'm a woman, so I reflect my bag. Anyway, we have little mini bags, and you know these days girls like mini bags. So you could take it out just for a small shopping. You just have your ATM card in your bag, and then you have your money.
The show also featured performances from King Fash, Phonics, Creative Brothers, and many more. This year's Peace Ambassadors were also presented with awards for their commendable charity work and peace-building efforts in the community. In its fourth year, the Africa Fashion for Peace show was fresh and entertaining, and nonetheless maintained its purpose of fundraising for a good cause. House 12 Apparel bills itself as the ultimate fashion boss, and CEO Nancy Abo has the receipts to prove it, offering up timely advice on making smarter decisions for your fashion business.
I've been working since 17, and I put in so much work in growing people's business. So I thought it was time to do something for myself. I needed to put in this energy, to do something for myself. And I was working while attending fashion school, and learning about this business and all of that. And then I went full-time into fashion school. After that, I started from my house, actually. Yes, I started from my sitting room. I had just one sewing machine, one weaving machine, I started collecting clothes from people to, make for them. And I needed to expand. I knew I wanted more. I didn't start like this. I didn't have all I needed, to start off. But I started from my living room, and I was getting clearer pictures. I was getting, bigger, vision of what I want to do with myself in the industry, right? And I kept going like that. And when I felt I was ready, I started seeking for partnership. I would say in this industry, you can't do it alone. Even if you have the finance, you can't do it alone. You need people who understand your dream. You need people who understand where you're going to. If they don't, you'll be wasting your time, right? So you need to work with people who understand your vision. I'm actually a meticulous person. I like things being done right. And sometimes it's not really easy to pass that down to the people that work with you. It can be really difficult because on many occasions they'll feel like, but this is okay, ma. And I'm like, no, it's not good enough. It has to be top notch. I also want to impact this knowledge to other people, younger people, older people, whoever is interested in learning fashion and making money in the fashion industry. Also considering the rate of unemployment, in Nigeria, this is another way we can, contribute to the society. The whole idea for the academy it started just shortly after the pandemic, because during the pandemic, while we were locked in and working, people would come around and be like, sorry, do you train people? Everybody was idle. They wanted to make good use of their time. So we're working to be training core members. We had an interview with NYSC. As soon as they get out of school, a lot of them need to learn a skill and learn one thing or the other. We're not fully maximizing our creatives. So we just create one style and we toss it out and we're on to the next one. For instance, this that I have made, I can create much more, from the same thing without needing to change it necessarily. It can be slanted this way, right? And it can be just on one side of, the body. It doesn't have to be on the neck. We also need to consider how you want to look, what you want to look like, what you'll be comfortable in. And it necessarily doesn't have to go with what is, trending, like what is acceptable. Fashion is about self-expression. I shouldn't separate what you're wearing from who you are. I should be able to match what you're wearing to who you are. I invested so much. After all the production we made during the lockdown, all the profit we made during the lockdown, I put in back, the money without thinking it through. So I should have considered the economic situation of, the country. That's the truth. It's something that every one of us should, be mindful of. You need to consider when you're investing, what you're investing in. You need to consider if it's the right time. You understand? You need to carve a niche for yourself, because the industry is quite competitive, trust me. But you need to carve a niche for yourself and you need to stay there. Be consistent. Keep doing what you're doing. Do not stop. Seize every opportunity to better yourself. Look for a fashion brand online that you can learn something from. Go through their brands, you'll get inspiration. So keep bettering yourself at every opportunity you get, and be persistent.
Introduced into global fashion in 1974, the wrap dress defined the era and outfitted a generation of women seeking and achieving professional and personal independence. The piece started out as a wrap top and a skirt, and evolved into a single-piece dress with a 3-panel design that includes the inner panel, the outer panel, and a belt or a snap to fasten the two. Here's 3 reasons to make this modern classic a wardrobe staple. The wrap dress has not fallen out of style all these years, and this timeless appeal comes from its universally flattering fit. The front closure formed by wrapping one side across the other and knotting the attached ties that wrap around the back creates an hourglass silhouette. Women of all shapes and sizes find that this dress will accentuate the waist. The resulting V-shaped neckline also adds length to the body. 2 dress tips that look great on any body type. A wrap dress is one of the most versatile pieces of women's clothing, and the best part is that there are endless ways to style this dress for any occasion. By pairing the dress with the right accent pieces, a wrap dress can appear differently from one style to another. Day to night, from the office to an after-work event, the wrap dress will carry you through every kind of occasion. Depending on the accessories you add, a wrap dress can be dressed up or down. In fact, there are not too many places where you can't wear this classic piece. Just a quick change of shoes and accessories and you're good to go. Dress it down with the denim jackets and sneakers for a casual day out, or pair it with statement heels and a blazer for a night out. It's always a safe and chic choice. The wrap dress is known for being easy to wear and a comfortable way to achieve a fashion-forward look. The most common type of wrap dress comes with 2 attached strings. Put the dress on one sleeve at a time, as you would a coat, and allow the dress to hang naturally. Then, make sure the back panel is placed well, and check if the side seams are positioned rightly across or along both sides of the body. Wrap the left side of the dress across by pulling it against yourself. Then, adjust it until you're happy with the way it sits on you. Tie the belt securely in a double knot to ensure that it doesn't come undone. And instantly, you've achieved a look that's chic and effortless. Easy to wear, versatile, and timeless, the wrap dress is ticking all of the boxes of a best-selling garment.
My designs are described in 4 words: timeless, eclectic, simple, and unique.
And our fashion-forward brand of the day goes to Bolu and Del. Fresh off a Red Edit magazine feature, the fast-rising brand is pulsating with youthful energy, making a stunning statement with minimalist beads and signature pieces.
My name is Bolu, and I'm a student. I'm a fashion designer. I just like being different from everybody. Like, my designs are described in 4 words. I describe them as timeless, eclectic, simple, and unique. I always try to like put that in my like everyday life and my dress sense. Before, like, it was just a hobby. Like, I just started like doing it because I loved doing it. But I want something that will be sustainable for me, like after school. So I make earrings, I make necklaces, I make unisex bracelets, I make anklets. But then I also want to move into making like male pieces, like unisex pieces that everybody can wear. It all started when I was in JSS3. So like I used to like watch a lot of like YouTube videos and stuff. So I wanted to like try the designs out. But like it started becoming like a business when I was in like university. So I attended this event, the Lagos Fashion Hangout. So I just thought like it was literally just fashion designers that would just like come and hang out and stuff. I didn't know like what the workshop was at the time. So when I now like attended the event, I now got to meet like lots of designers. I knew about like how the fashion business worked, and then I decided to like start something even if it was small. So I loved making chokers a lot, so I just decided to like, give it a shot. I wanted to like specialize in making choker designs. I used to watch like stuff from different fashion designers, how they start their business. They always teach me to like always be unique in like whatever I do. So when I stopped making velvet chokers, I wanted to do like beads, because I went for like a bead class in 2018 with Perfect Melange in Keja. So I did like a 1-month course in bead making. But like the beads I learned from her, they were like wedding beads and stuff. But I didn't want to just do that. I wanted to still do my chokers. So I just tried to like make my own stuff and like be inventive. And I knew that like at a point, like the people that will like it will like it. I always try to be different. And anytime like I'm looking for like inspiration, like I could be reading something or just like watching a movie or just walking on the road. Like anytime like an idea can just pop in my head and then I'll just write it down. And when I even start like making it, something else will just come, like different designs will just come, and then I'll just start making that stuff. The new collection that I just released, I called it like the sand collection. I basically used like sand beads to make most of the designs in that collection. And then I used a bit of like stones, you know, like nail bracelets. So instead of like just using it to just do ordinary bracelets, I also use those beads to make earrings. So I like this type of bead, yeah. So I used this agate stone, and then I mixed it with sand beads to make earrings. And then the waist beads, I used sand beads and also like some crystal stones just to make it different, because I know like regular waist beads are just like straight, but then I just want them out to look different, and like when you see it, you know that okay, this is something different. And when you wear it, you feel like very confident, because you know like you're different from what like, your design is different from what everybody else is wearing. So, and then I also worked with cowries. I work with like lots of pearls and stuff. My fellow students in like Bells University, some of my, we did this fashion shoots. Like I made some designs, so I told all of them to wear them, and then we did like this small shoot in school. It was a very nice shoot. It was like outdoor, and then they were just like wearing it and having fun. They were gisting, and yeah, it was really cute. I want them to feel very confident and beautiful. Like whenever they wear like a bolo and their piece, they are always proud to go anywhere they want to go. Especially like my newest designs, like anytime I wear them, I always feel very like different. I want it to be like as big as it can get. Even like going international, I definitely want to like showcase my designs on like Lagos Fashion Week sometime very soon.
We all love box braids, but when the style starts to get old, the edges and roots start to grow out, and your first instinct is to take them out. Not too fast though. You can extend the life of your hairstyle for just a bit longer. Tame loose strands with some hot water, redo your edges with the help of gel or edge control, and then get creative with simple styling ideas. Gather a section from the front of your hair, almost as though you're making a side part. Make a chunky braid out of this section and tuck it toward the rest of your braids, which you will then gather up into a ponytail. Similar to the braided swoop, this style is also super easy and quick. First things first, you gather your braids to one side. Take a quarter of the braids in the front and make a side bang. Then, instead of a ponytail, you gather all the strands into a low bun. Another easy style and also a classic. Pull half of your hair up into a ponytail at the very top of your head and leave the other half down and 2 loose strands in the front to accomplish a very chic look. Grab some fabric and wrap your braids up. First, gather your braids into a high ponytail and secure it. Then, take the hair and wrap it in a circular fashion so that you create a high bun. Secure the base of your bun with a cute scarf to score major style points. Don't let your old hair hold back your personal style. Create 2 small buns in the front and let the hair in the back drape down for a look that is very modern. Hairstyles like these are great when it comes to hiding rough edges, as long as all the loose hair is tucked under a jumbo crown braid, a twist or faux bang. Just pick a style that you like and have fun with it.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
NTA, you can't beat the reach.
This is the network service of the NTA.
The road is a vital part of our daily activities. There is no way around it. We must all use the road daily. We've all had our experiences as regard activities on the road. Accident, inadequate structures, and even with the structures, indiscipline is not left out. Must this be? Welcome to Road Matters. I am Fatima Umar. Road structures are important for guidance and good road use. Let's go to Abeokuta in Ogun State and join Talatu Emmanuel Mekano on the road in the Gateway State.
This is Shakwan, here in Abeokuta, the Ogun State's capital. We all know that a city without road signs for motorists and pedestrians is a center of confusion.
The city of Abeokuta, being one of the urbanized and developed cities in Nigeria with well-structured road networks, having road signs in some areas, unfortunately lacks road signs, traffic control officers, and traffic lights in some areas too. All these are as a result of failure to implement such by state governments and failure to, on the part of road users to learn about existing road signs ought to be in place.
The road have to first of all be sure that you are not driving recklessly. We start from there, and then the fixing of the roads, proper sign in places there are like intersections, roundabouts and all that. We still have to take care of that. And then in the city we have to make sure that we should obey the traffic lights where you can find them. And then also we also have to be sure that the cars we take out on the road are roadworthy. You know, your brakes are working, everything is working perfectly, and that way we can, in some other ways, you know, it's still an unforeseen circumstance, but we can take these measures to make sure that we can actually take care, kind of data prevents these things from occurring as much as they are occurring now.
A road accident can be avoided if the driver should take the whole measures that he can take. 100%. I'm very sure that a road accident can be avoided.
But I would like to talk about our government making our road very okay. If we have good roads, if we have avoid road accidents.
Be more careful on the roads, being on your lane and all that. So it can prevent some certain accidents, because some certain accidents happen due to carelessness of the driver.
Trailer people, they don't care for anybody.
Areas like Okeleo, Omida, Ake, among others, have traffic lights, road signs, zebra crossings, and the likes for safety purposes. Meanwhile, some lack road signs and traffic control officers. Due to that, making reckless driving thrive among motorists and pedestrians. For this reason, lives are being lost, roads destroyed, and vehicles damaged, which is why the need for putting road signs in place is necessary to further avoid losses.
And that's the size of our package from NTA Abeokuta. As motorists and pedestrians, we should be mindful of road signs. I am Talatu Emmanuel Mekano.
Yes, be mindful of road signs for the safety of all as you move. Accidents do happen, be it mechanical, environmental, or human error. When accident happens, the blame game will begin. Watch this accident Road Matters captured on Tafawa Balewa Road in the Federal Capital Territory. A lone accident. This is the Tafawa Balewa Road in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. There is usually high movement of vehicles on this road, and on a day with slow vehicular activities, a lone accident occurred. with passerbys trying to help and understand what could have led to the accident.
Hello? Yeah. Now you get the motor? Yeah, sorry.
The owner of the vehicle, obviously still in shock, explained what happened.
No, I noticed that just mechanic that gave for service. Just to change the fuel pump under the motor. Maybe it's not pack it well, tight and well. I reach here from Karu. I reach here. I just saw the motor went off. I parked for one side there. So someone just passed by my side say the motor don dey catch fire for under. And so all of us wey we dey there just come out. So as we come out, the bar come more than that's how it's.
What measures were taken to control this? Did the vehicle owner have the necessary tools in the vehicle to control the flame?
Like 20 fires which are the carry come, they try to see the place there. Sit down there, you see am. You see many say the this thing. They no fit caution until fire service came.
Okay.
After 1 hour when the thing don dey burn finish, na they come come.
This could have been avoided, according to the vehicle owner, if the auto engineer had paid close attention while fixing the car before returning it to him, as this vehicle is now beyond repairs. Do the needful checks before you drive on the road.
Sorry.
A lone accident, yet the usual blame game. But could it be mechanical or human error? The auto engineer probably did not do the right job before returning the car to the car owner. And the car owner probably did not do the right check before driving out. Let's all play our part for the safety of all. Now, in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, indiscriminate parking is a huge offense. Tricycles and motorcycles have also been banned from operating in the city center. Yet this continues as some residents flout this rule. Road Matters was there when some offenders were apprehended. The road officials in charge of enforcement of indiscriminate parking and the ban on the movement of motorcycles and tricycles in the Federal Capital City impounded some vehicles and motorcycles who break the road rules. The apprehended road users had an explanation on why this happened.
This is my new bike. So I reach traffic. I park where the motor park normally. I'm still there. I no cross the traffic, the lane. So I see one officer closer to me. I thought he was passing away, but the brat from my side collect my key. Then I was asking him, what is my offense? He did ask me. He called one of his colleagues, give him the key. Before I follow him, the other one kick the machine and bring it to here. And before I follow me, he said I should go and meet the other one. As on my way coming back, I meet the other one for road here. He said I should go office. I came here. So they asked me of my document. I give them everything is intact. I'm keeping waiting, and even the food I collected to go at delivery, the food spoil inside. They didn't tell me my affairs. They look everything complete. They didn't see anything where they were complete. They say, okay, why are you a Pansada? And what is the offense the Pansada and the rider?
All the way from Maraba, I'm going to Eastside Town, close to St. Terret. We come to the bus stop. Before I know, I saw Hilos cross us, say we have to do wrong parking. And it's not only us that is there. There's many coasters, there's many taxi drivers there. Before they say we are coming to office. I say, what do we do? Say we park wrong parking. And there's coaster by a bus stop. If they don't move, they're supposed to come out garage, say, this is a particular garage, be parking here, don't park here. Or you put no parking. We are aware that you put no parking. Anybody that see the no parking will say, yes, there's no parking here, we should go to the front. But they didn't give us any bus stop, they didn't give us where to park. If we park here, they say it's illegal parking. If we park here, they say it's illegal parking. And where one would they drop them? Me, they show us garage where they drop them. Me, they show bus stop where they park them.
I'm coming here for you. I use this coastal bus to run Usebega. So immediately I reached this place, I wanted to drop passenger. The policeman asked us to go down. That is how we come down to Bullet to drop passengers. So on my way to drop the passengers, I saw a van, a police van, first before the Hilux. We will normally drop passengers there. Even though private vehicles, commercials, they normally stop there to drop passengers. There is no sign of say stop or no parking or keep moving or keep walking. There is no sign like that.
I didn't even know what they arrested me for.
Some road users use the road without the required documents or necessary tools to use the road as it should be used.
No, my brother was took it away. One of my brothers in immigration. Me? I'm not with it. I'm not with it now.
When they arrested you, were with it?
Yes.
When you now came here, you were not with it?
Yes. No, I gave to my brother. I even come on my gear. I don't even. They say we should come back tomorrow. I don't. My brother has.
Did you have any safety jacket?
It's with him everything. Yes. We have a combined this protocol jacket with us,
What
and
are
I
your
wear
registration?
it. Registration what?
Particulars of the bike.
It's at home.
These road users should not be on the road. The road rules are there for your safety.
Our main focus is on 3 types of operations. Motorcyclists riding unlawfully into the metropolis or the city, to incessant illegal parking violations around the Eagle Square and its adjoining road. Then lastly, traffic light and zebra crossing violations. But the most worrisome of them is the first 2. That is the motorcyclists riding unlawfully into the city. Motorcycle activities have been banned since 2006. They are not allowed into the city. They can operate within the suburb, not here. But like you see, every day you see them riding into the city without the necessary requirements. But for those with the requirements, we hardly touch them. Arrested motorcycles, we don't have the power to release them. It is only the minister, maybe the FCT authority, that can decide on them. As you see them, they will all be conveyed to Kosa Otokon, where they keep motorcycles. My own job is enforcement, to impound them. We don't want to see motorcycle in the city. All is just a way of sending signal to them that they can't ride into the city. And policemen, uniform men, they're expected to be well kitted while riding, so that they will not be misconstrued for Okada riders or other miscreants. Illegal parking is 25,000. in our booking sheet. This place is a transportation hub. They're expected to drive into here for people to board and alight, not the adjoining roads. We only have about 2 or 3 bus stops around here. But if you go around now, we have close to 14 illegal parking locations, and they hardly use them. Beyond that, they use other places here. And coming here is even good for commuters, security-wise. If they come in here, they board registered vehicles, they will not be afraid of kidnapping or any other thing, or any form of vehicular-borne crimes. To sanitize this area, to rid this area off of all these illegal operators, and then motorcycles coming in. Like I want people to obey traffic light too, as well. Before you are licensed, you would have been trained. Yes, they know. Because they are abusing it. Most of those who travel outside, they obey it there. But here, they abuse it because of the lawlessness here. All the motorists should come together to ensure that they come into this place for people to board and alight. That is when they can have their peace. Otherwise, we'll keep enforcing.
Hello, my name is Dr. Christopher Otabo, consultant orthopedic and trauma surgeon. In the next few minutes, I'd like to talk to you about your health and safety. Several thousands of Nigerians are killed annually from road traffic accidents, others maimed. Most of these accidents are preventable if we follow the following basic precautions. Avoid driving under the influence of alcohol. It alters your sense of judgment. Avoid overspeeding. You cannot control your vehicle should any unexpected events occur. Avoid distracted driving, such as taking a call, texting, or watching a video while behind the steering wheels. If you feel sleepy while driving, stop and take a short nap before continuing your journey. It could save your life and those of others. Do not drive if you have epilepsy or other health conditions that makes driving risky. Avoid overloading your vehicle. It makes control difficult. Make sure your tires are in good shape and your brakes and horns are functioning perfectly. Now your destiny is in your own hands. If you follow the precautions I just outlined, you will get home safely to be with your family. Otherwise, you could end up with me here or with them there.
The road. Over 2,000 lives has been lost on the road. How many more needs to be lost until we take action? The road as we see it is another position for the people to mobilize themselves from a place to another. But how can this be done when the roads are compromised? How can this be done when the roads are not managed? How can this be done when there is overspeeding on the roads? How can this be done when a man is speeding at 120 on a road of just 60? Every road signs and road maps must be strictly adhered to, as they are there to inform and to educate the drivers as they move. Every road sign are not just there just to be seen and to continue the movement. It's there to prepare the driver of what is to come. It's there to prepare the driver of what he is likely to meet. Every road sign there must always mark children crossing, a U-bend, a L-bend, a V-bend, maintain 60, maintain 80. You must not violate these rules. Some drivers are still reckless. Some drivers still drive like there's another life beyond the life they are having. No. Every driver out there is precious, just as our roads are precious. We must use the road carefully. We must use the road judiciously. Don't drive drunk. Don't drink and drive. Don't drive and drink. All you need to drink is water. Alcohol in your car while driving could endanger your life. Ignoring the road signs could endanger your life. Overspeeding could endanger your life. So why should you lose your life today when you can make it a better possession of yours tomorrow? It's better to be safe than sorry. Don't be a victim of accidents. Stay alive today, and tomorrow you'll be a better person. I am Isaac Ido. Stay alive.
Always abide by the road rules and try as much as possible to be safe on the road. Use the roads as it should be used. There is no shortcut to law. This concludes the episode this week. You can send a mail to roadmatters@nta.ng. Until the next episode, I am Fatima Umar. Follow the road rules and drive to live. Bye-bye.
NTA Channel 5, Abuja. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Focus on FC.
Art is a means of communication, a symbol of humanity, depicting aesthetics in various forms. Art connotes strength and visibility as a way of preserving heritage, promoting culture, and painting pictures of our daily realities. This young artist examines tales of the eyes,
mind, and body through his works.
My work is more of the real life and of ordinary Nigerians, the women, the children. It's not a painful art, it's just their joys, their moments of doubt, their moments of sorrows too. I draw with raw charcoal on cloth. I just burn them and just make the charcoal.
A combination of brevity with comprehensive suggestiveness that appeals to one's sensibility. One cannot ignore the depth each art piece possesses. But how well do people appreciate and understand these artworks?
You can see they are about to cross the road. So I saw the painting that you look before you leap. The child at the mother's back is relaxed. That means she trusted the mother so much that she's capable of protecting her from any danger.
When I look at that painting or this one, it tells me something, and I'm able to understand the strength of a woman. And looking at this painting, I could easily relate with the average Nsukka woman. I'm from Nsukka. That's the strength of the Nsukka woman.
I like the media charcoal work. I've used it before, and I like the way he's using it in his pictures to create definition, to show light and shadow. Yeah. So particularly, I like this artwork because of the theme, showing independence, and because I like being an independent woman, and I believe every woman should be independent and they can be able to do anything that they desire to do.
One or two things that I'll pick here is that it teaches us about what are we proposing in the narrative structures. Look at the woman in the chair is showing that, okay, you can better yourself where you are, not necessarily when you move to cities. So people in the rural area, they too, if you are content with what you have.
Every art piece speaks to the soul, with its peculiar references to details, although we may sometimes get lost while trying to understand its central message, and this can only be related by the artist.
This is one of my favorite pieces. The piece is actually recent. I titled the work The Gaze. For some reason, something captures their attentions, and whatever they are looking at, it's not making them sad, it's not making them happy. Children actually look up to their parents to see whatever they are doing. And there's this saying that history repeats itself. And so I try to use this piece to show a girl, to show the world whom she is in the light of day. And I used it to apply to relationships between people, to apply to marriages. I see openness and transparency as one of the
Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from our studio in Abuja. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. President Buhari arrives at Addis Ababa ahead of inauguration of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for a second 5-year term in office. Third Lake Chad Governors Forum on Peace Building to commence Monday in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Plus, food security on front burner. Forum advocates adoption of biotechnology as safety net. President Muhammadu Buhari is in Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian capital, ahead of the inauguration of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for a second 5-year term in office. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Visiting for the first time since his last state visit to Ethiopia in February 2020, President Muhammadu Buhari arrived at Addis Ababa to a warm and befitting welcome. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed led a high-powered government delegation to receive the Nigerian leader at Bole International Airport. Others at the airport were Nigeria's ambassador to Ethiopia, Victor Adekunle Adeleke, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, Director General, National Intelligence Agency, Rufai Ahmed Abubakar, and other senior government officials.
There's a new trend in Africa now that should not be encouraged. And when African leaders are seen to support the growth and development of democracy, is good for the continent. I think this kind of visit boosts African solidarity. It encourages and entrenches democracy.
You recall that Nigeria has been a stabilizer of many democracies in Africa. And Mr. President has always spoken strongly about values of democracy. So his coming is to strengthen democracy.
President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to join other heads of state and government at the inauguration ceremony on Monday, marking the beginning of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's second term in office. The president is scheduled to deliver a goodwill message at the event.
Over 50 African countries, and the Nigerian president is the one delivering the goodwill message, the solidarity message, the keynote message. Very good for our country, very good for the continent. So President Buhari is not here in just his capacity as the Nigerian president. He is here as an African leader.
That he's going to deliver a goodwill message is one of the best things that can happen, because in the minds of Africans, they will see that there are leaders who value what they say, and they push for the best for their citizens, and then for Africa in general. So his coming is one of the best things, and making a goodwill message will encourage the host's prime minister to work for the best of his people and for Africa.
President Muhammadu Buhari, in an earlier congratulatory message, expressed Nigeria's best wishes to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, urging him to continue with the good policies of his government that endeared him to the people. He promised continued support for the unity and territorial well-being of Ethiopia and other African states. From Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Thank you, Adamu Sambo. Nigeria can sustain and strengthen its relations with sister Africa states by promoting unity and cohesion. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Gabriel Aduda, stated this in Bissau, the capital of Guinea-Bissau, while inaugurating Nigeria's permanent mission building in that country. Anthony Forson reports.
Standing on a 1 hectare plot of land in the high-broad diplomatic enclave in Bissau, the capital city of Guinea-Bissau, the edifice, apart from office space, will provide non-consular services. Inaugurating the mission house, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Gabriel Aduda, said the federal government has always remained committed to strengthening its relationship with its African brothers.
Federal government of Nigeria, Governo Federal de Nigeria, has shown very strong support to the government of Guinea-Bissau. We have enjoyed very, very cordial relations. And it is as a result of this that we have taken it a step further to put in place this property. Oftentimes, it is not every mission that comes to a country that puts down a property like this. So this shows importance and value that is attached to the people of Guinea-Bissau. And as such, we are very, very delighted today. Not only that we are here to commission this building, but also that we are doing it on the occasion of our 61st independence anniversary.
It is in the light of this that the Nigerian government is pushing for the speedy completion of its permanent mission house in that country. The Nigerian ambassador to Guinea-Bissau, John Usanga, said the opening of Nigeria's permanent chancellery in Guinea-Bissau is a deliberate way of deepening relations.
No one can wish away the greatness of our nation. It will resolve any doubt about Nigeria's commitment to Guinea-Bissau. What we are witnessing today is not just the opening of a chancellery building, but the marking of an epoch that will deepen Nigeria's diplomatic relations with Guinea-Bissau.
São excelentes, perfeitas,
impressionantes. In my opinion, the disclosure of everything that has been done here, it's really perfect. It's really, it's really great.
The deputy head of mission from Gambia and the president of the Nigerian community expressed satisfaction with the move by Nigeria to have a permanent mission in Bissau. Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The third meeting of the Lake Chad Governors Forum for Regional Cooperation on Stabilization, Peace Building and Sustainability is set to commence Monday, October 4 in Yaoundé, Cameroon. The forum, which is committed to promoting dialogue and cross-border cooperation on security, trade and economic recovery, is being convened by the Lake Chad Basin Commission in collaboration with the governors of the affected territories and government of Republic of Cameroon. Justin Bemui reports.
The Lake Chad region, comprising Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad and Niger, has been severely impacted by the Boko Haram insurgency and other related conflicts. The impacts range from massive internal and cross-border displacement, the destruction of fabric and property, human rights abuses, disrupted public services, and limited capacities of government institutions. Consequently, the Lake Chad Basin Commission validated the regional strategy for stabilization, recovery and resilience of the Boko Haram affected areas of the basin to provide a robust framework for addressing these complex and current challenges. This time, it was within the RSS framework, where the necessity of the forum to serve as a platform for cross-border dialogue, cooperation and exchange, as well as support to ongoing national, regional and multilateral efforts towards stabilization in the region was reiterated. Now, all is set for the third meeting of the forum to be held on the 4th and 5th of October in Yaoundé, Cameroon, with an overall objective to strengthen and consolidate on the forum's achievements. The forum will be assessing and analyzing the political, civil, security and humanitarian situations in the Lake Chad Basin region. It will also be identifying areas where cooperation and support should be reinforced and provide opportunities to share the best practices between international experts. Justin Bemuni, NTA News.
Unknown gunmen have attacked DSS and FRSC offices at Nnewi, leaving property worth millions of naira destroyed. Nwabufo Nwoye reports that the hoodlums also set ablaze the residential building of former Minister of Finance, Chu Okongu.
At the Department of State Service, DSS Nnewi, the louvers were shattered with bullets and facilities set on fire. Many residents declined interview, but one of the indigents of Nnewi who pleaded anonymity said at about 1 p.m., 6 Hilux Jeep stopped at the gate of DSS and the occupants trooped out and started shooting. He said the hoodlums also furthered their attack at FRSC, where they tried to set the building ablaze. The residential building near the area was also set ablaze by the hoodlums. The eyewitness said no life was lost. The public relations officer, FRSC, Margaret Onabe, has this to say.
Margaret, how are you? I'm fine. We just got information about your unit in Nnewi. Is it true?
Investigating it. When we get the full information, we are going to update them.
They are all medically checked, debriefed, and will be reunited with their families.
Stepmother of the Speaker of the State House of Assembly kidnapped alongside her husband more than 2 months ago is among the rescued victims. Zamfara State Police Command is, however, silent on the fate of her husband, who is the district head of Magaria and Zome local government area, as the bandits were said to have kept him separately from the other captives. The police commissioner says a rescue of more kidnapped victims across the state is in the offing. In the meantime, the police and other security operatives in Zamfara State have succeeded in the arrest of a notorious armed bandits kingpin, popularly known as Bello Ruga, and some of his collaborators who had been allegedly terrorizing people of Gumi local government area of the state over the years. Things recovered from the suspects include assorted weapons, foodstuffs, drugs, and some jerrycans of petrol, among other exhibits. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
The Ministry of Defense has described as false, misleading and fake news a trending video indicting the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Salihi Magashi, retired, carrying AK-47 rifle. A statement by Mohammed Abdul Qadri, Special Assistant to the Minister of Defense on Media and Publicity, says these are negative narratives that should be disregarded in the interest of Nigerians. He notes that this became necessary to put the record straight and to clear all doubts unwarrantedly planted in the psyche of peace-loving Nigerians. However, findings have revealed the undeniable identity of the person in the video as the rector of the Nigerian Army College of Environmental Science and Technology, NASEST, Makudi, who by virtue of his command position is statutorily allowed in the military to sign for weapons when traveling. The statement adds that Nigerians are advised to be wary of mischief makers and their collaborators on social media, sharing unverified stories to discredit the successes the fighting troops have been recording in counter-terrorism and anti-banditry campaigns in the country. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has apprehended 2 suspects while conveying drugs, ammunition, and communication equipment to bandits in Kaduna State. Recovered from the suspects are 21 RLA, 7.45 mm, 16 packs of new 2-way radio, 4 army-colored head masks, wallet containing army ID card, denominations of foreign currencies, and wraps of cannabis sativa, among other exhibits. Meanwhile, the agency has confiscated over 1,349 kilograms of illicit substances to include cannabis sativa, cocaine, tramadol, and methamphetamine, among others in Port Harcourt, Kaduna, and Lagos states, as well as arrest of 5 suspected drug traffickers. This News at 10 is reaching you live from Abuja. Let's take a break now. More reports when we return. Stay with us.
This is NTA News 24 broadcasting from Abuja. You can watch us anywhere, anytime on the following platforms.
Start Times, Channel 101, Big TV, Channel 743, GSTV, Channel 419, and Go TV, Channel 456.
For more information, log on to our website, www.nta.ng, or join us on our social media handles, Facebook at NTA News 24.
For comments, suggestions, and inquiries, send an email to news24@nta.gov.ng or call us on the following numbers.
NTA News 24,
news and more news.
Thank you for staying with us on the News at 10 on NTA News 24. Now, the Defense Headquarters has honored Lieutenant Colonel Abu Ali and 33 other officers and soldiers for their gallantry in the fight against Boko Haram and banditry. Correspondent Ismail Musa covered the Nobel Award night in commemoration of Nigeria at 61.
These are the Afizere Cultural Group, marching in honor of Nigeria at 61. Officers and soldiers of the armed forces fighting to defend Nigeria and its citizens.
Many have paid the supreme price in the line of duty, while others survived unvarying degree of injuries.
It is also in recognition of military personnel that paid the supreme sacrifice in the cause of service to the nation and humanity.
And for that, we say a big thank you for all that you've been doing to restore law and order.
To General Lucky Irabo, the event is a testimony that the supreme price paid by the fallen heroes are not in vain.
We solemnly acknowledge and honor the memory and sacrifices of our colleagues who have paid the supreme sacrifice to fall in the line of duty.
Late Colonel Abu Ali, often described as fearless gallant officer, instrumental in recapturing territories from Boko Haram, was one of those honored. On this night, his wife and daughter stood tall for him. Among the 24 honored for outstanding performance is Flight Lieutenant Abayomi Dairo and Sergeant Waziri. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The shutdown of telecom service in 14 local government areas of Sokoto State have commenced. A cross-section of people in Dengue Shuni local government areas said the shutdown of the telecommunication services will assist greatly in stopping informants from communicating with the bandits. They expressed this optimism while speaking to NTA News on the efforts by government to end banditry and kidnapping. Dalhatu Abdullahi reports.
The shutdown of telecommunication services by the Sokoto State Government and the Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy in 14 local government areas of Sokoto State is toward checkmating the activities of bandits and other collaborators. A visit to Dangeshuni, one of the affected local government in the state, indicates that telecommunication services have been suspended throughout the local government. Some residents of the area described the shutdown as a welcome development because the informants will not have access to communicate with the bandits.
If it happens to be a success, we are all right. Simply because the problem of security in this country, or specifically in this particular state, is alarming.
But if there is contact, they can contact anybody from any place to bring something for them. Maybe like they can bring food for them or pastry or anything else like this.
They commended the efforts of Sokoto State Government and the Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy for implementing the containment order. Residents of the affected areas are going about their businesses peacefully. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
In other news, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, is refuting information circulating in the social media that the organization is conducting a recruitment exercise. A statement issued by Garbadin Mohammed, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, NNPC, says the public should disregard the information in its entirety. He said whenever NNPC decides to conduct a recruitment exercise, it will announce to the public through authentic public communication channels, including the NNPC's website. To this effect, he reiterates that the NNPC is not recruiting. The World Bank Media Tour of Edo State State Physical Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability Program, SFTAS, created by the federal government, has begun to assess the performance of states. In Edo State, the Communication Specialist SFTAS Program Coordination Unit, Ibrahim Mohammed, led a media team on a tour of agencies in the state to take a look at processes, operations, and procedures that led to achievement of results so far attained. Uduakobong Achibong reports.
Edo State in 2019 emerged one of the best performing states in the 2019 Annual Performance Assessment by CIFTAS. The media team from the Federal Ministry of Finance took their tour to some agencies in the state, including Edo State Geographic Information Service, Edo GIS, Edo State Internal Revenue Service, Edo State Public Procurement Agency, as well as the Office of the Accountant General of Edo State. Interaction cut across disbursement-linked indicators of SIFTAs achieved by the state in the areas of property and building enumeration, improved revenue generation, e-procurement, and budget transparency.
For example, the pension arrears as at 2018 when we started was 2.6 billion. If you look at our financial statement of 2020, it was already reduced to 522 million. And as at the first quarter of 2021, we had paid off that, that liability. So that is the extent to which the program has encouraged the state, to do better in managing government finances.
Ibrahim Mohammed, who represented the National Program Coordinator, Stephen Okon, wants other states to emulate best-performing states like Edo and adopt good fiscal behavior for desired results.
Beyond the disbursements, what happens after the lifespan of these SIFTAs, which is going to terminate in 2022? So we want continuity. That's why there are these institutional, legal, and system reforms put in place. We are also calling on the media and the civil society as agents of change and public enlightenment to continue to advocate for the consolidation of the ideals and the gains made.
There were attestations to the impact of SIFTAs in terms of prompt payment of entitlements. SIFTAs is an agreement between the federal government and the World Bank designed to increase and strengthen fiscal capabilities of participating states. In Benin, Udrakobong Achibong, NTA News.
And talking health now, the evolution and implementation of an integrated response to health sector emergencies occasioned by the coronavirus pandemic is arguably one of the top 3 challenges that the country has faced between the early days of 2020 till date. In this special report, health correspondent Uche Ugochukwu takes a look at how the multi-sectorial interventions have assisted in addressing the impact of the global health crisis in Nigeria.
There were weeks and months of empty streets and businesses under lock and key in Nigeria's commercial city of Lagos, Abuja, and other major cities across the country. These were aspects of the narrative of the threat and impact of COVID-19 infections in Nigeria and the country's reaction following the incursion of COVID-19 into its shores. The plot of this story may have begun in Wuhan, China in December 2019, but the world quickly became the setting. Even now, more than a year and a half since the first coronavirus infection was detected in Nigeria, one still shudders from the uncertainties that trailed the public announcement and what the country has since lost.
In our hands, and compliance is one of the keys.
This was the government's first step. A presidential task force, now Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19, kept Nigerians abreast of public management strategies designed to monitor and evaluate the crisis, with briefings on casualty figures, safety protocols, and advisories to ensure Nigerians stay safe.
After every meeting, we would meet with the governors, a subgroup of the governors, define a path of action, and make sure that we had synchrony between the national response at the federal level and at the state level across the country.
Because of our resilience, because of our ability to innovate, we're able to respond to these public health challenges. It's the same thing that we did with the polio eradication program.
While mitigative measures subsisted, the country also kick-started some actions, specifically targeting curative medicine. The Central Bank of Nigeria also offered grants to fund health-related researches in new and improved drugs, vaccines, and diagnostics of infectious diseases. This is in addition to the waiver on all imported medical equipment and supplies, which commenced from May 1, 2020.
We have expanded our laboratory capacity from just a couple of public health laboratories to well over 140 now. We have built isolation centers in nearly every tertiary institution. We have also built molecular laboratories in every institution and intensive care units. So there's been a lot of improvement and the opportunity to increase our capacity in knowledge and skills of our workers. And also the store that we have capacity for stockpiling of personal protective equipment.
However, the viral disease ability to mutate resulted in the country experiencing a second wave of the virus in December 2020, and then the current declining third wave as shown by the daily NCDC figures. In the midst of concerns over rising cases of COVID-19 came the cheering news of the successful production of effective, efficient and safe vaccines against the disease. The second part of Health Report will bring you government's efforts at COVID-19 vaccination rollout in the country. I am Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
This News at 10 is reaching you live from Abuja. We will be back shortly. Stay tuned.
For now, the best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices, as well as social distancing. As individuals, we remain the greatest weapon to fight this pandemic. By washing our hands regularly with clean water and soap, disinfecting frequently used surfaces and areas, coughing into a tissue or elbow, and strictly adhering to infection prevention control measures in health facilities, we can contain this virus.
NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the You Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
This is the network service of the NTA.
We'll have to jump off a cliff just knowing that you will not crash. Let me tell you, everybody has their baggage and everybody has their demon. So you might as well deal with your own demon and everything will work out fine. If you're not in control of your emotions will be in control of
you. A full-time job is an employment that ranges from a minimum of 5 to 9 hours per day and runs 40 hours per week. And these kind of jobs are most common in countries like Nigeria, Ghana, the UK, the US, and more.
A full-time job is a job that one works 5 times in a week, about 8 hours in a day, and 35 to 40 hours in a week.
A full-time job is any employment that requires you working for a certain number, minimum number of hours per week as defined by your employer. And it can also be something you do and you get paid at the end of the month and not just on a part-time basis.
Other kinds of jobs people do, like casual jobs, contract jobs. People even do freelance and some other moonlights. And that of moonlight is actually common in the field of journalism, where people do other jobs outside their paid time.
We have part-time, we have freelance, we have contractual jobs. For the part-time, you work about 18 hours. And then contrary to the full-time that you do about 5 times in a week, you could do 2 times in a week. And then the full-time job is the time is fixed, but for the part-time you have, maybe shifts and all. So for the freelance, you are like your own boss, and then you just do your stuff.
I know part-time jobs. I know freelance jobs. Part-time jobs are jobs that you do that have lesser hours than the full-time job. For example, you are doing a job that is not up to 30 hours per week. That's a part-time job. Then freelance jobs are jobs that you get based on contracts also. When someone just invites you, you get the job done and you are paid. You are not really attached to the person on basis of employment.
I am an author and a copy editor. I am into book publishing, proofreading, and other editorial works.
I'm a seamstress, and I am also a manager in a traditional spa.
I'm a librarian.
I think I want my time, so as such, I prefer a freelance job.
Well, a full-time job is just fine for me.
For me, an ideal job is the kind of job I do that gives me comfort, helps me meet my obligations, and I do it with my own will, or I do it and I'm happy doing it. That's what I call an ideal job.
No, not really. Not really, because it doesn't give people time to do other things. So I don't like a full-time job.
No, I don't like a full-time job because it doesn't give me the time I need to work on my own dreams and do some other things, because you are restricted to a certain number of hours per day, and the little time you have to yourself can't do much for you.
A full-time job has several advantages, like it gives you this leverage to go on trainings, on free trainings and retrainings, like it gives you this leverage to go on seminars, workshops, and conferences, and it even gives you promotion support. Like you get this promotion support because you've been working on full-time basis, and your employer may just wish to give scale you on a promotion like that. So it's one of these advantages, and it even gives you loan offers, mortgage support. You can own a building because you are actually on a full-scale job.
There are so many advantages, like you have a fixed salary. If you're working a full-time job, this is my salary. It's not something you just wake up in the morning and then it's not there. Then you have other benefits, like you can just go on a sick leave and then you still get paid. And then you have after retirement benefit. You could go after your work time, maybe when you retire. There's pension and so many other benefits.
The advantages of a full-time job could include you getting paid time off. They pay you for when you are not at work. Then it can also give you benefits like leave, like you get annual leave, sick leave. Then you also get enrolled on all these health insurance policy schemes and all. Then I think you also enjoy training opportunities on the job, professional training opportunities on the job.
One of the disadvantages of a full-time job is that a lot of persons have actually, shattered their marriages as a result of full-time jobs. Look at the life of these people who are actually in the banking sector. Most times these bankers, perhaps they go out as early as 6 most times and come in 9 p.m. sometimes, and you could see how this brings to this whole thing that may actually affect their family as much as even their children.
The disadvantage is, it's stressing. It's too stressful, because basically you just have Saturday and Sunday to yourself, and Saturday is like a free day, a very busy day for everybody. So let's say even your Saturday is busy because that's when you have to do your laundry, you have to go to the market and do all the things. So it's really, really stressing. And then because you're always there, you don't have other ideas. You cannot be versatile. You don't have other things you know how to do because you've actually, like, all your time is on that job. So you don't have any extra thing to do. Then there's no time for family. Mostly there's no time for family. Like, okay, me now, I go to work I leave my house as early as 6 a.m. and sometimes I get to my house as late as 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. So basically, I just wake up in the morning and no one sees me. I come back, no one sees me. Till maybe Friday, that I don't even go, that's my off days. I don't go to work on Fridays. That's only when they see me and they'll be like, did you travel? Or like, no, I'm around. So it's stressful. Nobody sees you. You don't have time for yourself. You don't have time for family.
The disadvantage is you don't get much experience. Like when you look at your CV, it's just limited to one particular job or one particular company. Then also, I think full-time job also does not let you work on your dream. You are just focused on someone else's dream, so you don't get to explore your own talent and skills and try out you building your own self.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Emotions with Omenasa. This is a show where I encourage you and I remind you that if you're not in control of your emotions will be in control of you. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to Emotions. Today, my topic is how to obtain a full-time job. Basically, I am encouraging you to have a full-time job. Okay, and when I say a full-time job, I mean a job that is pensionable. I mean a job that gives benefits, a job that has a retirement plan. And if you're somebody who doesn't want to work for somebody, how can you still get your benefits, have your retirement plan and all of that, even when you are working for yourself? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, for so many years, I have been a per diem worker. A per diem worker, P-E-R-D-I-E-M. A per diem worker is a worker who is mandated to work about 3 to 4 days a week in whatever facility, in whatever company, for me, in a hospital, in whatever firm, right? So you're mandated to work 3 to 4 days, and then you must give every other weekend. So your every other weekend is on Saturday and Sunday, and then the week or the weekend after that, you're free. That's what they call a per diem worker. Now, a per diem worker is also somebody who you don't have a contract, okay, that has benefits. You don't have health insurance, you don't have life insurance, you don't have a retirement plan, you don't have a 401k, you have nothing at this job. All you do is you take your salary maybe every month or every week. In my case, is every other week, okay? So that's a per diem worker. Now, the benefits of being a per diem worker is that you have the opportunity to do whatever you want to do outside of work. So most of you already know, obviously, I am running a show, then I'm also in the nursing field, then I'm also doing my master's and PhD, then I also run a business, and then I run an agency. I do a lot. If I'm not singing, then I'm preaching, or I'm speaking, or I'm here on TV with you. So it was easier, let me say, okay, because I'm getting to the pros and cons. It was easier for me to keep doing all that I have been doing on a per diem work factor, on a per diem stance. Because, I just wake up, go to the US, stay there for 3 months, come to Nigeria, stay here for 5 months, and I'm still working. And then when I come back, or when I go back, then I tell them, hey, like I'm back, and then they put me back to work. That's a per diem worker. All you get is your salary. So the benefit of that, like I said, is that you get to do whatever you want to do. You are a free bee. You are a bird. You get to do whatever you want to do. But guess what? Years from now, when you're 50, when you're 60, when you're 65, which is the retirement age, you're not going to have a pension. You will not have anything. So you better have saved, right? Okay. Now, how do you get a full-time job? It's going to sound like I'm contradicting myself. So listen, how do you get a full-time job? You start off with getting a full-time job by not having a full-time job. Why? Because around you, a lot of jobs are not hiring off the bat. A lot of jobs are not going to hire you full-time, meaning with full benefits at the beginning. Very, very few companies will take that chance on you. Very, very few. So what do? So you just become you become a per diem worker forever? No. Humble yourself and start working. Wherever you find yourself, just start working. If you really, really like the place, you stay there. You just stay there. I know people, though, who, even if they don't like where they are working, because they know that if they stay there long enough, they would have a full-time position. Guess what? A full-time position will open now. Somebody will go on retirement, and then that spot is open. And guess who they are going to hire first? Internal hiring. They don't go external first. They always start with internal. Then when internal is full, then they start to hire externally. So if you have already been in the system and you've been there for 1 year, or you've been there for 2 years, definitely they will consider you first. But no, because you are looking for a full-time job now, so you've gone to 5 different places and they've not given you a position, so you sit down at home. Or you convince yourself that you are an entrepreneur. You force entrepreneurship on yourself because you don't want to humble yourself. No. Now listen, I am not talking about somebody who knows that they are supposed to work for themselves. No, I am talking about somebody who doesn't want to take that extra step, or who is not humble enough to start working for somebody. Most of the time, in order to become a full-time worker, you will be a slave first. That is just the truth. You would have to start working for someone. Okay? So just start working. Just start working. Just start working. Just start working. And then, as you're working, you will be considered for a full-time position. So, how do you get a full-time job? Is you start off without a full-time job. And I'm going to tell you the benefits, the pros and cons of a full-time job when I get back from the break. Stay tuned. To have a full-time job, the first thing that you should do is to not have a full-time job. Of course, if you go there and you apply for a full-time position and you're given a full-time position, then we thank God. But most of the time, that is not going to happen. And because a lot of people walk into these jobs and you apply and they tell you, oh, there's no full-time position for now, you get discouraged and you go home and you just sit down at home, or you tell yourself that you are now an entrepreneur. So, no, don't do that. Take the temporary position, which is also called a per diem position. That was how I started. I have been working per diem position for so long, for many, many years. I'm telling you, for over 15 years, I had been a per diem worker. A per diem worker is somebody who you are not, you don't have a benefit plan with this job. So all they do is give you your salary. You don't have life insurance, you don't have health insurance, you don't have benefits, you don't have a 401k, you don't have a retirement plan, aka you don't have a pension. Okay, basically. So some people say, no, God forbid, I cannot be working for so long and there's no pension plan. Look, okay, in most jobs, the only way that you'll be considered for a pensionable position is if you have already slaved yourself, like you have been working there already. Then a position will open. So don't look at this thing from a form of big man. Nobody is a big man. You have to think about the future, okay? You have, there's this saying that if you do not have foresight, at least have hindsight, okay? So remember how terrible it has been for you. All this whole time, you have not had a pension plan. So you would definitely want a pension plan. Humble yourself and stay in that place. So for me now, by the grace of God, in my nursing field, I am now a full-time worker. So now what does this do for my career in all the other things that I do? Because most of you know that I do a whole lot of other things. Well, what I have found out is now my life is more structured, because I cannot take as many weeks off or as many months off as I used to take. Now, somebody may see that as being caged, but the truth of the matter is I am thinking about the future. I I bag dead bodies, okay? So like when I'm done and like when I take care of my patients and my patients die and I walk into the room and my patient is dead, I am the one who is going to clean up that patient. I am the one who is going to put the tag of expiration. And by the way, that's what we call it in the hospital. We don't say that a patient died. We say that a patient expired. I am the one who is going to put that tag on their feet, and I'm the one who is going to bag them, and I'm the one who is going to take them to what we call the holding room. I have seen firsthand what it means to be working with no pension plan. You are just working. And so one day when I was wrapping one of my patients, I said, Komo, this is actually how it is going to end. Everyone is going to die. Everyone is going to get old. Okay? So what is your plan from age 65 to age 80? Who is going to take care of you? Who is going to feed you? You have to have a job that has a pension plan. Now, if you don't want to work for somebody else, you can have a 401k with your bank. You can have a retirement plan with your bank. You will be sending in a certain increment, or they will be taking it out and they will be saving it for you. Now, mind you, this has to be a good bank. Not just any bank, because guess what? Now you're 65 years old and the bank has packed up and all your money is gone, right? You know, so you do have to think about the future. So it's not just having a full-time job. Yes, having a full-time job makes it easier. It makes it easier for you, but guess what? You are going to lose a little bit of your freedom, but that freedom that you're losing is for your freedom in the future. So it's better that you're bound today and be free tomorrow. Not that you are spreading your wings today and then you're bound when you're